It's Shadow Work Sunday, a space where I share what I'm actively working through as I move through it, not because I have it all figured out, but because I'm doing the work too. Today, we're talking about those moments when you have to check yourself on your own ish because you realize you might be creating urgency out of habit, not need. Now, remember to take what resonates, leave the rest, and as always, use your own discernment. So, something I've been sitting with lately is how unfamiliar peace can feel, especially if you've spent a long time in survival mode. We tend to think that healing looks like the absence of triggers and reaction and discomfort, but that's not always how it unfolds. What I've noticed in this season is that things are quieter, right? And where I am when I'm recording this is winter time, okay, but this is timeless. And since things are already quieter, of course, my reactions aren't as, intense or all consuming as maybe they once were, but that doesn't mean nothing's happening, right? And for many of us, survival mode becomes familiar, not necessarily comfortable, but familiar. The body learns intensity, urgency, hyper awareness. And when that falls away, the quiet can feel really strange. For some people, peace can even be boring at first, not because they miss pain necessarily, but because their system isn't used to calm without vigilance. But for me now, it's not boredom, it's unfamiliarity. It's noticing moments where nothing is wrong, yet my body hasn't fully learned to trust that nothing is wrong. My mind hasn't fully learned to trust that, right? And that's a different kind of shadow work. One thing that's become really clear to me is how this shows up in both the body and the mind. The body reaches for what it knows, stimulation, urgency, that familiar adrenaline edge, and the mind quickly follows with reasons. You know, when we have thoughts like, I should do this now, or I need to check this, I can't just sit here, right? And when things get quieter, you start to notice these habits more clearly. Maybe not big or dramatic, but seemingly small ones. And the impulse to create movement, to push something forward, to make something happen. And this week, I've been catching myself in those moments. So I pause and I ask, does this serve me right now? And if the answer is no, then I pause, I breathe, I don't feed it. And sometimes that right there is the hardest part of the work. And if you've been there, you know. And then I ask myself something deeper. Why do I want to do something that doesn't serve me right now? Is it discomfort with stillness? Is it habit? Is it control? The body wanting that familiar thing? The mind wanting certainty? And if the answer is ever yes, if it does serve me, then I slow down and really examine how. Okay. Because the mind can play tricks on us, right? What is it giving me? What need is it meeting? Is there another way to meet that need? This is where shadow work becomes real. And I've already noticed changes from doing this. At first, the urgency softens, the impulse loosens, the body and mind start learning something new together, right? And over time, you see bigger changes or bigger results, I should say. And this isn't about willpower necessarily, it's about retraining what feels safe. The shadow here isn't chaos, it's learning how to exist without intensity. It's recognizing when the body and mind reach for urgency simply because that's what they were trained on, not because it's what you need now. And this is important. Being triggered differently doesn't mean you're failing. It means your system is recalibrating. Peace is not something the body and mind automatically know how to hold. Sometimes it has to be learned. And that was definitely my case. So if you're in a season where life feels calmer, but your system hasn't quite caught up yet, that's not regression. That's integration and progress. And that's shadow work too. And I want to share with you guys a message that came through from Spirit when I was channeling. You are not meant to recreate intensity to feel alive. You are learning how to be present without armor. The quiet is not empty, it is spacious. Nothing is missing. Your body and mind are learning a new definition of safety. You are safe to stay here. Mm. Thank you, Spirit. And these are some affirmations that helped me. I do not need urgency to feel secure. I allow my body and mind to learn peace together at their own pace. And feel free if you want to switch out urgency with intensity, because I did that sometimes too. Okay. And I want to give you in closing a shadow work prompt. And I have prompts too in my shadow work workbooks that I'll talk to you guys about later as well. So you want to ask yourself this gently. Where do I reach for urgency out of habit? And what changes when I pause long enough to choose what truly serves me instead? And asking yourself this question, and write it down if you have to. I've done it that way. Sometimes you really need to sit with yourself and write this stuff down. And like it's homework, because shadow work or any type of inner work on yourself is the greatest work that we can do, right? And some of the hardest, if not the hardest. So, sometimes we need to treat it that way. We need to take it seriously, as far as, you know, the healing process goes, okay? So maybe writing it down. I'm saying it so clearly, yeah, someone needs to hear it. But really think about that, and the more you are thinking about it, the more you're aware of it, you're going to start catching yourself. And then you'll be able to look at your own ish, right? Thank you so, so much for being here with me and going through this process together. I appreciate you so much. Sending you light, love, and healing. And I hope this helped.